Isabella, do you have a moment to talk right now?
Of course. What's the matter?
Well, there's something I'd like to discuss with you. It's a bit important.
All right, I'm listening. Feel free to tell me anything that's on your mind.
You know that project you're currently working on? The one everyone's saying is a really big, important project?
Yes, I know the one. I'm actually in the middle of preparing materials for it right now. Why do you ask?
Well, I was hoping you'd let me take over that project.
Wait, what? Are you serious? But don't you already have your own set of tasks to take care of? I know you've been busy.
Oh, those? I've already had them reassigned to other employees in the department. My schedule is completely open now.
Hold on a second. Are you saying you just offloaded all your work onto other people?
Please don't phrase it like that. It sounds so negative. I didn't dump my responsibilities on anyone. I simply redistributed the task to the most appropriate people for the job. It's all about putting the right people in the right positions. And I realized that there's a much better fit for me, something more challenging, like the project you're working on. That's what I want to focus on now.
I see. I can understand your ambition. After all, you joined the sales department, and it's only natural to want to take on more significant responsibilities. It makes sense that you'd want a chance to work on a high-profile project.
Exactly! That's exactly how I feel. Thank you so much for understanding where I'm coming from.
But here's the thing, this project was assigned to me, and it's already well underway. We've been working steadily, step by step, for quite some time now. And finally, after all that effort, we're at a critical stage. Things are starting to come together. I don't think it would make sense to switch the lead at this point. Changing the person in charge now could disrupt the entire flow of the project.
No. That's exactly why now is the perfect time for a change. I've been following the progress, you know? I've done my homework. I understand where the project stands. All that's left is the final adjustments with the client, right? That's why I believe I'm the most suitable person to step in now and handle those negotiations.
And why would you say that?
You've heard the saying 95% of a first impression comes from appearances, haven't you?
That's a rather specific percentage. I don't think I've heard that one before.
Well, it's true. And let's be honest, do you think the clients would feel entirely comfortable entrusting such an important deal to someone like you, a plain middle-aged woman? I'm not sure they would.
Wow, so you're really sticking with this 95% thing, huh?
Of course! Look, we're talking about a project worth $10 billion. That's a massive deal! For something this significant, it makes more sense for someone like me to take the lead. I'm young, dynamic, and capable. With me handling the final stages, the atmosphere would be much more positive, and the deal would be closed smoothly and successfully, don't you agree?
Listen, I've met with the clients multiple times already. They're not the type of people who focus on superficial things like appearances. They care about professionalism and results, so you don't need to worry about that at all.
Oh, but I do need to worry. Just imagine what would happen if word got out that they finalized such a high-profile deal with someone like you. Think about it. A project worth $10 billion, and they entrusted it to someone without even a university degree. That could seriously damage their reputation.
That's not true at all.
I'm saying this because I care about the client's image. That's why I'm insisting that I should take over as the project lead. Refusing to step aside at this point, does not that just show you're being selfish? Isn't it clear that you're letting your personal pride get in the way of what's best for the project?
Wait, are you seriously accusing me of being selfish? Is that what this is?
That's exactly what I'm saying. And if you won't cooperate with me on this, then I'll have no choice but to bring this up with my dad.
Excuse me, what?
Did you forget? My dad is the head of the sales department. If you won't step aside willingly, I'll go to him and have him issue an official order to reassign the project to me.
Hold on a second. That's really not necessary.
No, I've already made up my mind. Honestly, I didn't expect you to be this stubborn. But it's fine. Once my dad steps in, there won't be any room for argument. The project lead will be reassigned to me, and you'll just have to accept it. Understood?
Isabella, can you explain to me what exactly is going on here?
Richard, are you referring to the project? Is this about that?
Yes, it is. I just heard from Arnold that the project lead is being replaced, and I must say I'm completely shocked. What's going on? Is there some sort of problem?
No, there's no problem at all. Nothing like that, I assure you.
Then why is this happening? You've worked so hard for this project, haven't you? You've been dedicated to it from the very beginning, and now when you're finally about to see all those efforts bear fruit...
Have you been told who the new lead will be?
No, not yet. Arnold only mentioned that things were still being finalized, and that's all I know.
It'll most likely be Natalie. You know, Arnold's daughter.
Wait, Natalie? But she hasn't been involved in this project at all. How does this even make sense?
I agree, it doesn't make much sense. But Arnold came to me directly and asked me to step aside. I think he decided to prioritize his daughter's request and put her in my place.
Are you telling me Natalie had the nerve to ask for this? And Arnold just went along with it? She's only here because of Arnold's connections, isn't she? Does she not realize that?
I think she knows that perfectly well. But even with that understanding, she still does whatever she pleases. On top of that, she seems to look down on me. She's made it quite clear that she doesn't see me as her equal.
Because of your academic background, is that it? She's judging you for not having a degree?
That's right. I can tell that's part of it. But honestly, I've come to terms with it. I know my worth isn't determined by something like that.
You're absolutely right. Someone's abilities, dedication, and achievements aren't measured by a piece of paper. It's frustrating that she doesn't seem to understand that.
It can't be helped. Everyone has their own perspective and values, and hers just happen to focus on superficial things like education credentials.
Even so, this situation is unacceptable. I understand that Arnold might want to look out for his daughter, but letting her take over this project at such a critical stage? That's irresponsible. This isn't just some minor task. This project could determine the future of our company.
You're absolutely right. But what can we do about it? How do you plan to address this?
I'll handle it. Trust me on this, Isabella. I can't stand by and let something like this happen. Not when it's so blatantly unfair. Removing you from the lead position, especially after everything you've done to bring this project to where it is now, isn't just a personal injustice to you, it's a professional mistake for the company. And as an executive, I can't ignore that.
You mean it? You're really going to step in and do something about this? Thank you so much, Richard. Honestly, I've been feeling so discouraged since all of this started. Hearing you say that means the world to me.
Of course I mean it. You've done nothing wrong here. In fact, you've gone above and beyond for this project, and you deserve to see it through to the end. Don't worry about a thing. I'll talk to Arnold myself and get this straightened out.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. Thank you so much for standing up for me. I was starting to feel like I didn't have anyone in my corner.
You don't have to thank me. It's the right thing to do. And frankly, this isn't just about you. It's about what's best for the company. We can't afford to let personal favoritism compromise something as important as this project. I'll speak with Arnold as soon as possible. In the meantime, just sit tight and I'll keep you updated.
Understood. I'll wait to hear from you. Thank you again, Richard.
Isabella, tell me, what kind of underhanded tricks did you pull this time?
I'm sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't act innocent. You know exactly what I mean. I was supposed to be the one leading this project. It was practically a done deal, and now you've managed to stay on instead? How do you explain that?
As I understand it, my role is simply to provide assistance to you. I'm not taking the lead here, but with the meeting so close, I have to ask, are you prepared? We're dealing with an international client here. If you don't handle this properly, the consequences could be disastrous.
Oh, spare me your lectures. I don't need your advice, especially when it's so condescending. You think you're in a position to give me orders? Let me make this clear. Your attitude does nothing but kill my motivation. And don't forget, this $10 billion deal is now under my control, not yours. As the department head's daughter, I've made sure of that. All I ask is that you keep your hands off this project entirely. Promise me you won't interfere.
If that's how it's been decided, I'll respect it. I'm worried, of course, but I'll step aside as instructed.
Good. And one more thing. During the meeting, you're to remain completely silent. Don't even think about contributing. Just sit there like the low-educated old woman you are. The success of this deal will be attributed to me alone, and I won't have you stealing even an ounce of credit.
So that's what this is really about. The credit. It's all starting to make sense now.
Oh, did I hit a nerve? You sound upset.
I couldn't quite understand why you were so adamant about taking over this project. But now it's clear. You're doing all of this just to claim the glory for yourself.
Of course I am. What did you expect? I'm in sales. Performance numbers are everything in this department. They determine promotions, bonuses, everything. Do you honestly think I'd let an opportunity like this slip through my fingers?
I get it. Success is important and everyone wants to excel. But do you really think it's right to achieve that by stealing someone else's hard work?
It's not stealing. It's common sense. It's called putting the right person in the right role.
What exactly do you mean by that?
I mean, someone like me shouldn't be stuck at the bottom rung of the ladder. My skills and ambitions demand more. I need to build my career quickly, moving from one milestone to the next. Team leader, department manager, director, and eventually a seat on the executive board. That's the trajectory I'm aiming for. And someone with your level of education? You're better suited to staying where you are, just a regular employee, doing mundane tasks forever.
So that's why you decided to take this project from me?
Exactly. Watching someone like you, someone so underqualified, handle such an important task, it was infuriating. It didn't sit right with me.
You're mistaken. I didn't get this opportunity because of favoritism. I earned it through hard work, dedication, and results.
Don't make me laugh. Someone like you, getting ahead through hard work? Please, there's no way that's true. Frankly, it's a miracle someone with your background even managed to get a job at this company. If it were up to me, you wouldn't be here at all. You're nothing but a hindrance.
Do you have to be so cruel? There's no need for this level of hostility.
Let me spell it out for you. This project is my ticket to proving myself. It's the stepping stone I need to propel my career forward. If you so much as think about getting in my way, I'll make sure you regret it.
I understand that this project is important to you, but please remember that this deal isn't just about us. It involves the livelihoods of countless employees, both at our company and at the client's company. They're relying on us to handle this responsibly.
And why should I care about that? Our only priority should be extracting as much value from this deal as possible. The rest is irrelevant.
You can't think that way. That kind of mindset could lead to disaster.
It's not just a mindset, it's the reality of business. Every relationship, every negotiation, every partnership, it all boils down to utility. How useful is this person or this company to us? That's the only question that matters. For example, this deal is currently set at $10 billion, but I see no reason why we can't push for more. Double that amount even. It's clear your soft approach left money on the table. I'll make sure to rectify that.
You can't be serious! That amount was carefully negotiated by both parties. It reflects what's fair and reasonable for everyone involved. You can't just demand more money out of nowhere. It's unethical and reckless.
Enough! I don't need a lecture on ethics from someone like you. Stay out of my way and stop interfering with my plans. I'll handle this my way and my way alone. During the meeting, you're to stay silent. Don't utter a single word. If you disrupt me, I'll have my father intervene and ensure you're fired. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Good. Just remember, one word out of you and you're finished. What the heck was that about?
Is something wrong?
Something wrong? You didn't tell me the client would be speaking in French.
Well, the client is from a French company, so that should have been obvious. Did you think the meeting was going to be in English?
You deliberately kept this from me, didn't you?
You told me not to interfere with how you do things. You were very clear about that, so I had no choice.
Don't try to make excuses. I was kicked out of the meeting halfway through and humiliated, all because you didn't tell me about this.
But that's your fault. Not being able to speak the language can be solved with a translation app, but the real problem was that you came completely unprepared. The client was clearly frustrated, and on top of that, you started pushing to raise the contract amount without any justification for it. No wonder they kicked you out. If you wanted to raise the fee, at least have a good reason for it. You don't just throw demands like that out without preparing for it first.
How dare you talk down to me like that? I've been through enough already, and I know exactly what happened once I was kicked out. You probably took over and ran the meeting, didn't you?
Do you think I had the luxury to sit back and enjoy the situation? You know how close we were to losing that deal entirely because of your actions, right? I had to scramble and beg them for another chance just to keep the meeting going. That's what I was doing while you were making things worse.
Did they even agree to another meeting?
Somehow, yes, but it wasn't easy. Because I'd built a relationship with them before, they were willing to give us another chance, just barely. But if it wasn't for that, we would have lost everything. Do you realize how serious the situation was and how much responsibility you have in this?
Why am I being blamed for everything? I'm the one who was thrown into this situation without warning, and there was no support from anyone. Everyone just ignored me and piled more work on me. What do you want me to do? Just sit back and let this all fall apart because no one helped me?
Are you really saying all this?
Of course, even my dad says so.
You know what? I can't keep dealing with this.
What do you mean by that?
It means I have to focus on preparing for the next meeting. I can't waste any more time talking to you about this. We need to make sure this deal works, and that's all I'm going to focus on.
Oh, really? Well, fine. I'll find myself a better job soon enough. Once I get promoted, I'm going to have you fired. Just watch me.
You think that'll be easy? You think you can just push me out and walk away from the mess you made? Let me tell you something. You won't be able to fix this on your own. Without me, you'd have never gotten this far.
You can't be serious. Do you really think anyone would take your side over mine?
I don't need to rely on anyone else. I know how to fix this, and I'll do whatever it takes. If I have to leave you behind to save this company, then that's what I'll do.
You think you can handle this alone? You're making a huge mistake if you think that's going to work out for you.
I'll prove you wrong. I don't need your help, and I certainly don't need your attitude. I'll make sure this works, and I'll make sure you regret ever doubting me.
Natalie, can I talk to you for a moment?
Yes, what's the matter? Is something wrong?
It's about the meeting the other day.
What about it? Wasn't it a terrible situation? Everyone ganged up on me, humiliated me in front of everyone, and made me look like a fool.
Well, it seems the matter from that meeting has reached the president's ears.
Oh, really?
Yes, and as a result, the decision has been made to impose disciplinary action against you.
What? What do you mean by that? What's going on? Why would I be punished for this?
Actually, in another meeting, our client got extremely angry, and it caused quite a stir.
I heard something about that. What happened exactly?
We had to apologize profusely, and we barely managed to calm things down. If that deal had fallen apart, our company would have been in a very serious situation.
That sounds a bit exaggerated, don't you think?
This is not an exaggeration at all. If things had gone south, it would have been disastrous for the company. And that's exactly why the president has decided to impose this action on you. We can't have this kind of mistake happening again in the future.
But why me? Isabella was there too, wasn't she? She was just as involved. Surely she should face some sort of consequences as well, right?
No, that's not going to happen.
Why not? How is that fair?
It's because it was thanks to Isabella that we were able to prevent the deal from collapsing.
I kind of heard something along those lines.
Without her intervention, we would have been in an even worse situation than we already were. If it weren't for her, things could have gotten a lot messier. So disciplining Isabella is out of the question.
Why is she so important to you? I'm younger, more educated, and I have so much potential. I'm the one with the future. Are you really planning on holding back someone like me while letting someone like her get away with everything?
That's not the issue here. You're completely misunderstanding the situation. Yes, it's true that she didn't graduate from high school. I've heard it's because of some personal family issues, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that despite her background, she hasn't let it hold her back. Ever since she joined this company, she's worked incredibly hard. Even French, she learned it while doing her regular duties, studying on the side.
Wait, really? She learned French on her own while working? That's impressive.
Yes, it is. She took it upon herself because she believed it would be necessary for the company. She knew that she had to contribute in any way she could. She's the kind of person who works hard not just for herself, but for the benefit of others as well. That's the kind of person we need in this company.
But what about me? I have everything she doesn't. I'm more qualified, I've worked hard, and I've made sacrifices. Why isn't that enough?
Look, I understand your frustration, but there's a huge difference here. It's not just about having the right education or background. What truly matters is the effort, the determination, and the willingness to learn and improve. Isabella showed all of that. While others may rely on their connections or titles, like being the department head's daughter or having a prestigious education, she's been focused on doing what's necessary to succeed in this company. That's why she's so valued here.
But that's just it. She's middle school educated, and yet she's always praised for things that don't even matter. How can she be more important than me? I've worked harder for this position than anyone else.
It's not about who's worked the hardest. It's about who contributes the most. Isabella's drive and her willingness to do whatever it takes for the company's benefit have made her indispensable. People like you, who are more focused on titles and education, tend to overlook that.
So what? You're telling me that all my efforts don't matter?
I'm not saying that at all, but the truth is, Isabella's hard work has earned her the respect and trust of the company. And unfortunately, because of the way you handled the situation in the meeting, you're the one who's facing consequences now. It's not because of your qualifications. It's about how you respond under pressure, how you work with others, and how you handle these kinds of situations.
That's not fair. I shouldn't be the only one facing the consequences. Isabella should be held accountable too.
I'm afraid that's not how things are going to work. The president values Isabella's contributions and the way she's handled herself professionally. You, on the other hand, have shown a lack of preparation and a failure to manage your responsibilities. That's why this action is being taken.
So, what exactly is going to happen to me?
You'll be informed about the specific details soon, but know that it will be serious. The company can't afford to have incidents like this happening again. So make sure you follow the instructions you're given when the time comes.
Isabella, I heard about what happened. You're being taken out of the sales department, huh?
Oh, you heard already? That was quick.
Yes, I heard the rumors, so I thought I'd reach out to you.
Are you still in the General Affairs Department?
Yes, I am. I'm just waiting for my next opportunity here, but honestly, I think I lasted longer than expected. For someone like you to have been in the sales department at all was a miracle, I'd say.
I see. Well, I'm not sure I agree with that.
So, where are they moving you to? Maybe they'll send you off to some rural area far from the city, huh?
Lol. No, that's not it. I'm being moved to the International Business Department.
International Business Department?
Yes, our company is looking to expand internationally, and following the president's orders, we're setting up the International Business Department. Because I successfully closed the $1 billion deal recently, they've offered me this new position.
That deal actually went through?
Yes, it was supposed to be finalized much earlier, but, well, it was a bit delayed. But I'm glad it all worked out in the end. Honestly, I never expected to be in this position, especially after everything that happened. It's kind of surreal to think about it.
So, are you just going to stay as a regular employee in that department?
No, I'm actually going to be the manager there.
Wait, you as a manager? You of all people?
Yes, it's a very unusual promotion, but thanks to the president and the vice president recognizing my potential, I've been given the manager role.
Wow, that's impressive. But I really don't think you'll be able to succeed as a manager in a new department from the start.
Yeah, I know it'll be a tough challenge, but that's exactly why I'm motivated. I'm looking forward to the challenge. It won't be easy, but I've worked hard to get here, and I'm not about to let that slip away.
Well, with that, I guess that means there's an opening in the sales department, right?
Yes, there will be a few people moving to the International Business Department, so there will be some changes in the staffing.
So, does that mean I can go back to the sales department?
Why would you think that?
Well, it's been 3 months already. I've done my time, right? My dad is the manager there, so he should be able to pull some strings for me.
Didn't you hear? Arnold is actually being taken out of the sales department as well.
What?
The problem was that they had to forcibly replace you as the lead negotiator, and that created a big issue. Because of that, the company almost got into a huge crisis. They've been looking for a replacement for a while now, and now that they've finally appointed an official manager, Arnold is being moved out of sales.
So, where's Daddy going?
I heard he's being reassigned to a branch in another state.
What? That's not right! That's a demotion!
Yeah, but I think it's an unavoidable decision. The company had no other option but to make these moves given the circumstances. It's unfortunate, but these things happen.
So, does that mean I can't return to the sales department?
I think it's probably going to be difficult. But honestly, you should be prepared for even worse news.
What do you mean by that?
I've heard that your attitude in the General Affairs Department has been pretty bad lately.
That's because this is just some menial work. Who's going to feel motivated doing this kind of stuff?
Until now, maybe it was fine because Arnold was around, but once he's gone, I don't think that kind of lazy attitude is going to be tolerated. From what I hear, everyone in the General Affairs Department is complaining about you, so once the department manager moves, there's a chance you might be dealt with as well.
No. No way! Wait, you're telling me I could get fired?
Yeah, that's a real possibility.
You've got to be kidding me! Why is this happening?
It's the consequence of using your connection with the department manager to do whatever you wanted without considering the consequences.
No! I can't get fired! I won't accept it!
You're going to have to accept it, though. You always talked about how important it is to put the right person in the right place, right?
What's that got to do with anything?
It means you weren't the right person for this position. You didn't take your responsibilities seriously, and now there are consequences to your actions. So, when the punishment comes, don't fight it or complain. Just accept it.
This isn't fair! How can they just do this to me?
Well, that's how it works in the business world. There are decisions that have to be made for the good of the company. It's not personal, but it's also not a decision that can be taken lightly.
But I've been trying! I've been doing everything I can to prove myself!
Maybe, but it hasn't been enough. You've been given chances, and now it's time to face the reality of your actions. You can't just keep relying on your dad's position to get you out of every situation. You need to stand on your own 2 feet.
I know, but it's not fair to just throw me away like this.
I'm not saying it's fair. It's just how things work here. And you need to understand that sometimes the world doesn't owe you anything. It's about results, not about who you know.
I just don't understand how this has happened. I thought everything was fine. I thought I had time to prove myself. I can't believe this is happening. Why me?
Because you didn't handle things the way you should have. You could have avoided the issues that got us here.
I just wanted a chance. That's all I wanted.
I know, and you were given chances. But sometimes those chances run out. It's a tough pill to swallow, but you'll have to learn from this. Afterward, Arnold's demotion to a branch office was decided. He would be reassigned to the branch as an ordinary employee, and it seemed like he would have to start over from scratch. This change came as a result of his repeated mistakes and mismanagement, which had made his position in the company unsustainable. It was a decision that shocked many, especially considering Arnold's once high standing within the company. In a similar situation, Natalie was dismissed due to a series of repeated violations of company rules, including disobedience to work orders and other serious breaches of conduct. The management determined that there was no hope for improvement and decided to terminate her employment. Despite her protests, Natalie could not avoid the inevitable. She reportedly cried and begged for forgiveness, but unfortunately, pleading was not enough to reverse the decision. There was no room for leniency in this case, and she was firmly expelled from the company. Her dismissal marked the end of her time at the organization, and there were no second chances for her to rectify her mistakes. Meanwhile, I have been working in the overseas business department, collaborating with my new colleagues on various projects. With my proficiency in French, I've been able to contribute significantly to the initiation of a major project involving a French company. This opportunity has allowed me to make the most of my skills and knowledge, and it has been an incredibly fulfilling experience so far. It feels rewarding to be part of something so significant and to be able to apply what I've learned over the years in a real-world business context. Looking back at the events that unfolded, I couldn't help but feel a deep sense of realization. Effort truly pays off in the end. Despite the challenges I faced, such as being a high school dropout and enduring difficult times, I never gave up. I stayed focused and kept pushing myself to find ways to contribute to the company, even when things seemed tough. Reflecting on those moments, I can say with certainty that all my efforts have been worthwhile. I never allowed myself to fall into despair or self-pity. Instead, I chose to stay committed to improving myself and helping the company succeed. One of the most valuable things I gained from my time at the company was the opportunity to learn French. It was a language I had always been interested in, and being able to master it has opened up so many doors for me professionally and personally. Not only did I gain a better understanding of the French language, but I also learned about France's rich culture and history. It was an eye-opening experience that gave me a greater appreciation for the country and its people. The knowledge I gained through my language studies have played a crucial role in my current work, especially when dealing with French clients and partners. It has allowed me to bridge communication gaps and build stronger, more effective relationships with our overseas counterparts. I've also started to dream about the future. I hope that someday our company will open a branch in France, perhaps even in Paris. It's a secret wish of mine, but I can't help imagining what it would be like to work in such an iconic city, immersed in its culture and business environment. I know it's a long-term dream, but it's one that fuels my motivation every day. For now, I focus on doing my best in my current role, putting in the effort and dedication necessary to make a meaningful contribution. If I continue working hard, I believe that someday I will have the opportunity to fulfill that dream and live and work in France. Every day, as I work alongside my new colleagues in the overseas business department, I'm reminded of how much progress I've made. I've come a long way from my early days at the company, and the challenges I faced along the way have only made me stronger. Through hard work, persistence, and a willingness to learn, I've been able to achieve things I never thought possible. While Arnold and Natalie's situations serve as stark reminders of how quickly things can change, they also reaffirm the importance of staying humble and focused. Success is never guaranteed, but by putting in the effort, you can create opportunities for yourself and rise above the challenges. Looking ahead, I'm excited about the future and the possibilities that lie ahead. The Overseas Business Department has given me the chance to grow professionally, and I'm eager to see where it will take me. I'm learning every day, and with each new project and challenge, I'm becoming more confident in my abilities. Even though I faced setbacks and difficult moments in my career, I believe that the journey I've been on has shaped me into the person I am today. And while I may not know exactly where my career will lead, I'm determined to keep pushing forward, learning and growing, knowing that each step brings me closer to my goals.